Oh boy. Happy New Year, everyone. Seems like
Mm.
this is a typical thing. Happy New Year, everyone. It's December 31st, 2019, and the San Jose Sharks hit the halfway point of this season, and it wasn't pretty. Wasn't pretty at all. And, well, when you lose to the worst team in the league, it can even be somewhat positive. Welcome to Teal Town After Dark. This is your live and interactive Sharks postgame show. We do this after every game, home and away. So, of course, if you want to be part of the show, here's how you do it. Chat with us and fellow Sharks fans in the chat. Well, right now it's Periscope. But join us right here, and we appreciate you following us all the way around. Yeah, it's been bad, and it's going to feel bad too. Alrighty, with that, he is not Ian Blogs Hockey, but he is a guy who spells his name the right way, and that is Erik Landi.
Oh boy. I might be doing a great impression of the venerable Canadian robot today because oh my, I have a bunch of different opinions and thoughts on this particular game. And I think we'll get into it, but I am unimpressed right now, and quite frankly uninspired by the team. And yeah, they'll be hearing about it.
As they should. At this point, I think the gloves kind of come off here, and let's be honest, this is not the Sharks team that I don't think anybody expected to do their magic tonight, or this season for that matter. Because I honestly, when you're looking at a team that looks like at the halfway point of the season that could potentially match the Sharks' inaugural season total of 17 wins for their season, and you get shut out by them, definitely a cause for concern, all around. I mean, this is just absolutely ridiculous right now. And to begin a 5-game road trip where this was, well, let's be honest, Landy, this was the easiest one of the 5. Um, you know, and Steve Cropper, I'm right with you. No heart tonight. Even the fight sucked. Uh,
Yeah. No, I mean, hey, I mean, look, coming out of the break of the little Christmas mini break, excuse me, we had said that this team has to show us what they're made of. This team has to come out and really, I mean, the margin of error is next to nothing,
right.
and they go and they put a display like that tonight. Yeah, the effort was there in spurts, but mentally, the mental engagement, I think, to me is what is most disappointing because
Yeah.
physically they're there. Physically, I think they exerted a lot of effort tonight, but mentally, I don't know. They seem to be checked out already.
And it's scary to think that, New Year's Eve you're checked out and you're already checked out. New Year's Eve and you're checked out. I mean, seriously. I mean, you can pull this run. There's. I'm not gonna quote what everybody else is quoting, but I mean, you can go on a decent run and get back into this. But efforts like tonight, where you even have Jamie Baker saying they look very loose, they seem a half step slower, and that was halfway through the first period. That's beyond unacceptable. And,
You know,
and, and,
and
and their execution that Baker said in the third period, that's even scarier.
No, I think you're completely right, Eric. And the poster boy to me tonight of this, one, Erik Carlsson. He is continuing his rope-a-dope style of play through the neutral zone. He's getting the puck intercepted left and right, just in a turnover machine. He's trying to make the most exotic plays out there out on the ice, and the simple plays are there. That's what's most maddening, is that there are simple lanes available. There are simple passes available, yet he chooses to try to do the highlight reel pass all the time. And you know what? I mean, you are the most you're the highest paid defenseman. And let's not even talk about, we won't even go into, AJ's rant of, oh, well, you've got to play better than this and that or this and that. You just need to be competent in your own end. Yeah. He's not even competent, Erik. And it's frustrating because not only that, but once they do get into the offensive zone, he's trigger shy. I mean, it's ridiculous.
And it's
just ridiculous.
And it's not even just Erik Carlsson that's trigger shy. The entire team is trigger shy. I mean, I'm sorry when, and don't worry, folks, we'll review the game. But when you go 2 for 48 on the power play,
pathetic.
It shows that you are not trigger shy. You are like looking for the perfect pass. Stop looking for the perfect pass. Just shoot the damn puck. And I hate to be one of those longtime fans, way to go, maybe not as knowledgeable, and being the one that's in section 204 going, shoot! But my God, guys, come on. I mean, and Steve Cropper right here. Question, how do you keep the Sharks from scoring a goal? Answer, put them on the power play.
Yeah, no, you're exactly right. I mean, that is to sum up the season is their problem.
Right.
They refuse to shoot the puck. Brent Burns in that first period came down like a freight train and elects not to shoot the puck on his strong side. And he does a drop back in the middle of the slot thinking that somebody's going to be there. Instead, he just needs to put the puck on net. Okay? I don't know what it is with him this year, but he's electing to continue to defer. That he can't do that. That's not what he's paid for. That wasn't why he was brought here. The same thing with Erik Carlsson. And not only is Erik being trigger shy, but puck guy, he's getting his shots blocked left to right, leading to direct 2-on-1s, 3-on-2s, putting himself out of position.
And that's the whole thing, is that we've seen this, and it's why we've always complained about, why do you have Vlasic on the power play? Why did you have Ehrhoff on the power play? Because it's just going to get blocked. It's ridiculous, and it hurts that we're saying that about a fellow guy who spells his name the right way. But at this point, this team needs to be called out. This whole entire team needs to be called out. Erik, I get it why you're trying to make fancy passes. We appreciate that you want to be finesse and everything. Just make the damn pass. Just make the damn pass. Get the pucks on net. Shoot the puck. Let's stop doing this dump and chase crap, because obviously you guys can't take. You guys can't get to there. We saw a 3-on-2 developing tonight. And that's not getting executed because we're waiting for other people to show up because they're slowed down. They don't have their speed. Chris mentioning this earlier, I expected this could happen. This team has been trash all year. And I completely agree, Chris. There was a little bit of me that was nervous about this, and look what happens. Chaotix 105, do you guys think at this point Ottawa won the EK65 trade? It depends on what they develop with Josh Norris and the first round pick that they're going to get from this season. And right now, they could be selecting 1 and 2 overall. Scarily, Landi in this one. But let's get to actual reviewing this.
Here, you want to hear something really, really pathetic, Erik? Let's break this down, and this illustrates how frustrated I am with this team. 9 minutes and 18 seconds before you get a shot on goal in that first period. I mean, what the hell? Are they not looking at the same standings that we are? This team should be coming out with piss with vinegar in their blood or piss and vinegar in their game, they need to be going out there, driving possession, driving to the net in the first shift. And they need to dictate the style of play that they want going into there. Instead, they got lulled to sleep by the worst team in the NHL. We haven't even glossed over that point yet. This is the worst team in the NHL.
And
this is by a long margin.
And like I said, they are on pace to match the Sharks' inaugural season total of 17 wins. Although that changed tonight because they beat the San Jose Sharks 2-0 in this one. So let's get at it. 8:06 in. Biega takes a roughing call after Gelman, was trying to make a hit, but then was it Beshoff went awkwardly into the boards. He was trying to yada back at you, and of course that sets up a Sharks power play, which guess what they did? Nothing. And that's the tough part.
At least, on the first power play, it looked like they had some movement around the horn. They didn't look stationary as much as they have been earlier in the season. Really though, the best chances that came on that was in the dying seconds of the power play when they went back to 5-on-5.
Yeah, it's just ridiculous. I mean, I don't know what in the world is going on with their power play or what they're trying to do. And considering they are the best penalty killing team, I think having your penalty killers out there first and foremost to be your power play opponent for that matter at practice. I'm sorry, but I mean, come on. Use your number one power play to your advantage and just go already, because I mean, my goodness. This is just absolutely unacceptable. I mean, unacceptable with the talent on this team. Like, if we're going to compare the Sharks of the first two seasons at the freaking Cow Palace to these guys, there's a hell of a lot more talent on this team that they're paying way too much money for. And at this point, you got to start figuring out what in the world is going on here, because this is absolutely embarrassing. I mean, the next power play, and let's bite my tongue here. If they go 2 for 54% on the power play, how are they not last in the league? I mean, that's the one thing that surprises me. They're 28th, and when they play tonight against Detroit, that's got the worst penalty kill in the NHL, and they allowed 11 power play goals in their last 12 games, and you can't do a damn thing. They don't.
Hey, Erik, I mean, let's just call it out there. Do you think it's time that they actually sit the power play units, both of them, down and start the penalty killers? Like, I mean, let's put Barclay Goodrow out on the number one power play. Let's put Mark Sorensen. Let's put maybe Tomas Hertl. But quite honestly, just you sit all of your highest paid players, because they have shown jack shit. Not only that, but they're giving up glorious chances on the power play. I mean, it's beyond mind-boggling how bad they're playing. And then put Ferraro and Šimek on the points, because quite frankly, those two are the ones that are best driving play from the back end.
Yeah. I mean, I would would like to see Ferraro up there at this point. Maybe wanting to get the tenacity that he had to follow up his play to get his first NHL goal, something that could be desired. Something, because it's something called give a damn. Felix, good evening to you, sir. He's saying, I don't know what the hell needs to be done, but this team needs heart. They need more passion. And that's a scary part to come up with, Landi. I mean, to hear that from fellow fans, that this team needs more heart and needs more passion, it's essentially kind of going back to, Ray Ratto saying, just win the game.
Well, I mean, we're in game 41 and we're talking about heart and passion, I mean, these are multi-million-dollar athletes. They shouldn't have to have us fans trying to rally them to have heart and passion. It's their freaking job.
Yeah.
I mean, I have been a player's person for a long time, a player's apologist. But you know what? Enough is enough. Yeah, enough is enough.
Mm-hmm.
They have to call out their stars. They have to do something, whether it's bench Erik Carlsson and Brent Burns in the last minute of the third period, last 5 minutes of third period. They have to send messages that their play is not up to snuff. And you know what? I'm even wondering, maybe there's some kind of injury to Brent Burns that's just preventing him from shooting the puck or something, because he is just deferring like I have never seen him defer. Even the first year he was here, when Dan Boyle was the quarterback, so to speak, and he would defer a lot to him. This is the most I've seen him defer on shots since that season.
Here's how I'm thinking about it, though, Landy, and hear me out about this. Because everything was predictive about this team, they were rimming it around the boards. First, it used to be rimming it around the boards to get it to Joe Thornton. He'll do everything. Now it's kind of more like get it around the boards to get the puck to Burns. So he'll just throw it on the net, and a certain person that's going to play the only game playing tomorrow in the Cotton Bowl would tip those pucks. Nowadays, because that's gone, and it's just, it's like, okay, crap, what do we do now? Or because it's been so predictive, they had to figure out something, and they haven't figured it out. The other fact, and Chris mentioning here, I like the mind reading where we know for a fact they just don't care. Well, the point here, though, is just trying to see where their play is, It just seems like their mindset isn't into the game.
And you know what? I mean, directly to Chris, and Chris, longtime friend and colleague for sure. But I think all of that goes out the window when you're talking about the worst placed team in the league. I really believe that the competition is inferior. It's just straight, flat out inferior to the Sharks. And you put that kind of mental effort into this game, not necessarily physical, because you know what? They had 34 shots on goal or whatever the hell it was. And, they had some hits and they had block shots or whatever. So physically they were engaged, but mentally they're all over the place. They have no cohesive idea of what they want to do as a 5-man unit. It seems like, again, we've continued this early season, the early season knock on them where they were playing like individuals. It's continued. It's continued, and nothing has changed. Nothing has changed. And I sent out that link to that TSN, whatever, the Mad Dog Sports, or whatever. They had a little segment.
Hayes, Noodles, and the O-Dog Overdrive.
Yeah, exactly, on TSN, and they were talking about Erik Carlsson, and maybe he's just, he's content now with being the highest paid player or highest paid defenseman in the league. He's got his money. He's in a nice part of the United States. And maybe he's just throwing in the towel. And I didn't want to believe that, but at this point, Erik, I mean, everything has to be out on the table. I mean, as far as where their mindsets are, what they're thinking, because mentally, again, I just go back to they seem checked out. It takes 9 minutes and 18 seconds for your first shot on goal on a team that is licking its wounds, on a team that's last place. I mean, this is a beaten and dead animal. They should be like ravaging them. Instead, you get that piss poor effort. It's unexcusable.
And the tough part is, Landi, is that it's magnified here because it is Detroit and where they are at in the standings and where the Sharks are at in the standings. But I also can see the fact that, this is typical Sharks hockey where they kind of play down to the lesser opponents. That's been a trend in the past with this team for years. That they think they can beat them with their talented players over the skill, and honestly, let's be honest, the only goal came in at 3:15 of the second period. Oh, by the way, we're reviewing the game. um,
Well, I mean,
from
the first half of the period was just that maddening hair pulling that we were talking about. So really didn't miss much.
right, but I mean, at 3:15, Tyler Pertuzzi takes a shot, or it takes a deflection off of the shot from a Bowie, and Fabry would also get the assist. It was of course a nightmare in the neutral zone. I think also while EK65 did turn over the puck, I also thought it was on Meyer's stick. He's got to control that a little bit more. I mean, we did learn from the Mighty Ducks that concentration, not strength, when receiving passes. I mean, we've all learned that from there, and that's
that
just
illustrated. No, that play, Eric, is illustrating exactly the point though, where Erik Carlsson wants to make a finesse play when he could have just pushed the puck up the boards. Right? There was a player available there. Instead, he passes it through the neutral zone, through the slot, or not the slot, but through the middle of the neutral zone, which is like you've got a Detroit player who's pressing right up against you. He's gonna go in basically on a 2-on-1 because you're isolating the other defenseman there, Vlasic, and he hung Vlasic out to dry there. He hung Vlasic and he hung Jones out to dry there because there's nothing nothing either one of those two could do.
Right.
And it's selfish. It's selfish. You could have just made an easier play up the boards, and that's what's so freaking irritating.
Yeah, and that's the tough part is that but Jerry mentioning, I feel like it's been the last decade that we actually won on New Year's Eve. The funny thing is that I know AJ put it on the Teal Town USA Twitter with the most recent games, and of course they've been nightmares a lot lately. And let's talk about the 8-5 loss to Calgary last year. The year before was a 6-0 shutout to Dallas. I mean, you're not far off, Jerry. That's for sure. And Chris, you're mentioning again there were warning signs there a year ago. This team nearly got wrecked in the first round. Yet this team could have been out in 5 games to Vegas. And it took a nice, incredible comeback where it showed them their character and how passionate they can, get the job done to win Game 5 and win Game 6. Especially in double overtime when you're on the PK. It's one of those things where they need to find their resiliency and their passion to get the job going. Because, I mean, while they might be trying, it may not look like it to some people. And it's the tough part that's going to happen down the road, is showing how much what you're at. And if you're out of it right now, what is it going to be after this road trip? It's already a tough stretch. You're going to go into Pittsburgh on Thursday. You're going to get Columbus. Then you're going to have a back-to-back of all things with the last 2 cup. I mean, you're facing the last 4 cup champions on this road trip. Pittsburgh, who won back-to-back, including beating you in your home barn. You have Washington, who won it in 2018. Thank you for beating Vegas. Appreciate that. And the St. Louis Blues in 2019, and it's tough,
and also a Columbus team which reflects their coach insofar as how they play. And let's face it, the Sharks, whenever they play against a workman-like team, they get worked because they just get completely outmatched in the physicality department, completely outmatched in the in puck retrieval and just down low play. So, the Columbus game isn't going to be easy either. So, I mean, you could go, I could see this team go winless through this stretch, Eric. I think on this road trip, they could go winless.
They could. They quite possibly could. And the Jumbo Fan 2018, thank you for the quotes in there. Bugner, this wasn't a bad road game by us by any means. And let's be honest here, while you were shut out tonight. Um, you know, I thought Jones played a heck of a game for them this evening.
Yeah,
I mean,
no, I
honestly, you give up one goal. You give up one goal on gosh, I don't have the stat sheet in front of me, but I mean, you give up one goal.
21. He saved 21 of 22.
Yeah, I mean, on 22 shots. I mean, that's terrific for him, but unfortunately,
A 955 save percentage. I mean, the goaltending has not been the problem in the last 3 games. I mean, the goaltending performances that we've been seeing by Dell, and this break has helped Jones out as well. Goaltending is not the issue here. This is completely on defensive zone structure. This is completely upon star players not putting in star efforts. I think that's the big key here is star players not putting in star efforts, either mentally or physically or both or one then the other. It's be on time to start casting the spotlight on 165, 188, and
I
Logan.
I think you can go. I'm sorry to interrupt you there, but you can
Oh,
go
you're good.
further than Burns and Carlson. I think you start looking at Evander Kane. You start looking at Logan Couture. Congratulations, you made the All Star game. Appreciate it. Glad you're going to rep the Sharks. I'm surprised they're going to have somebody do it.
Right.
The there are so many teams on the guys on the Schneid right now. I mean, where's Sorensen? Where's LeBanc? I mean, there's there. I mean, I don't know what else you can do here. I mean, you're
Look, when
and
Thomas Nason and Antti Suomela and Joel Kellman or Shellman, excuse me, are the best line, you got problems. You
and,
got
and
problems.
they've definitely developed some chemistry there. Even with Melker Carlson out, I thought Suomela had a pretty decent game. I thought Nason and Gelman really were busting their butts for it. Uh, do I want to see them do more? No, not necessarily. But I mean, looking at the time on ice tonight, Shellman 821 was 67% in the face-off circle. Suomela was 739.
Three shots on goal on 739, mind you. 2 hits. Shellman had a hit, and Stefan Nason, 3 hits as well and a block. So it's not like they're not contributing. That's for sure. I mean, Suomela had like 2 grade A chances, and then his last chance was like a B. But honestly, they're driving play. That's
Yeah,
all you can ask from your fourth line.
and that's the thing. Is help you out, but keep the puck down in their zone. Do those little things. Maybe get some chances, which they did. But I mean, where is it? Where is everybody?
Yeah.
What are we doing? At the end of the second period, the shots were even 20-19. Both teams didn't do anything on the power play. Sharks had a little bit of a dominance in the faceoff circle, but the scary part was Couture took a puck to the hand. Thankfully, he returned in the third period, but and heck, even that fight, where Abdelkader and hit freaking Barclay Goodrow, and Goodrow took exception to it. And I think more than anything, I think Goodrow was just trying to get the guys going on the bench.
Yeah. No, I agree. I agree. Something, right? I mean, something to get this team a little bit of, like a Red Bull energy shot or whatever. But even that, I mean, Erik, I mean, the fight was pretty pedestrian.
Yeah.
It wasn't, it wasn't.
It wasn't Staubitz and 2-2.
Yeah, and it wasn't, and it wasn't anything that was really. They didn't really rally after that.
Mm-hmm.
It just. I don't know. I don't know what it is, but it again, this is a mental thing. They're fighting it mentally. They're not engaged with it mentally, and this is it's flabbergasting. I just when you can't get up for a game mentally when you're staring up at the playoff race and you just see your team getting lapped and lapped and lapped. You know, what will it take? Will it take a trade of Brent Burns, you know, where basically you're going to have to get pennies on the dollar because he's not worth that much, or someone else, some core piece to be really get the shot put across the bow?
Right.
I don't know.
I don't know either, and it's scary to think that you don't know what you can do. You know, you hope you find something. You hope they get into a Pittsburgh bar, you know, tomorrow, and while they're watching the Winter Classic, and find a classic '80s hit that will catch fire.
Something, or a fight in practice, you know, where somebody finally has just had enough and decks somebody else because they're just not pulling their weight. I don't know what it's going to take, but
Yeah.
You know, it was interesting too because we saw Curtis Pashelka put out a report today talking to Brendan Dillon, and Brendan Dillon understands where he's at. He's on an expiring contract, and you know, talking about how he wants to be a part of the solution here for the team and wants to continue to stay with the team. But quite frankly, the Sharks just don't have that option available to them, because if they're going to be playing like this, then they need to extract all the value that they can before the deadline, meaning they need to sell.
Well, and the thing is I think that win against Philadelphia, it'll kind of calm the things down a bit. It should also, to me, show that this team is capable of anything. You know,
Right.
This team is capable of doing anything. But you know, Kevin Kurz, our good friend of the show, Kevin Kurz from The Athletic, had a nice, interesting comment from Brendan Dillon. You know,
Oh,
I'm
Kevin,
sorry. Yes, the tweet essentially was like, there would be no shortage of teams calling on Brendan Dillon, according to Keith Jones of NBC Sports. You know, I mean, there's, you know, it just seems like, you know, I mean, you look at it, you know, the Wings are 2-16-2 in their last 20, and they beat Boston, by the way.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You know, Eric, you know, we're getting a couple of really good comments out of the chat. You know, one's asking, do Jumbo and Patty retire if this trend continues? Tough way to go out, by Jumbo Fan 2018. You know, somebody asking, should we trade Jumbo and Patty to contenders to give them a shot? That's D Healy 529. I mean, yeah, I'm at that point, Eric, where, you know what, I hate to do it. I hate to say, you know what, it should be time to give them a chance. But, you know, maybe sending Jumbo back to Boston, you know, giving him one last shot with Patrice and with Marchand, you know, and giving him a shot with Big Z, you know, maybe that would be a good way to send them out. I mean, I don't know, but right now the way that the team is performing around those two is a disservice to both of them.
Well, and it's tough to say if they even want to. I mean, home is San Jose for both of them. You know, they're going to be here forever after the team. You know, but the thing is that after all this, and let's be honest, who wants to have a 40-year-old who has just one goal? You know, I mean, yeah, he is probably one of the greatest passers in the game has ever seen. He's currently tied seventh in all overall assists. You also have Patrick Marleau, who has 7 goals. You know, he got one in garbage time, you know, on Saturday night. Would he want to go anywhere? The funny thing is it wouldn't be funny if he if Marleau got traded back to Toronto, considering that he's only under salary for $700,000. You know, it's interesting, but I think there's not just that, but you know, you will probably get some offers like for, say, Kevin LeBanc, perhaps And again, I'm being speculatory here, so let's not get anything like he said that there's talk with so and so. But you're going to have guys like Tomas Hertl get phone calls. Maybe Rob Iman saying maybe Evander Kane, but there's no way in heck anybody's going to take his contract with 6 years to go.
6 years left at $7 million per.
Yeah. And for that matter, he's got a modified no trade. So the three teams, are probably LA, Anaheim, and Vegas. And we all know there's no way in heck they're going to move him over to there. I just think, everything's tied up. Everything's tied up. And at this point, you don't have any moves to make. I think for the sake of the Sharks, you're hoping like crazy to stay in this race, and you can make a move of some sort once you acquire more cap space at the most at the deadline. But
I mean, Erik, this, we could, like I said before on the last show, this could be, we could be looking at a franchise altering trajectory here, where if they do end up in that, in that lottery phase, and God forbid, the Senators do pick 1 and 2. That could literally be a franchise altering type deal. And in the way that, the Sharks had a franchise altering deal with Joe Thornton. You know what I mean?
Oh, well, you know what? This isn't the first time that it would happen, especially for a Bay Area professional hockey league team. The Sharks, or excuse me, the Seals traded away the number 1 overall pick to Montreal. You know who they picked? Guy Lafleur.
Oh, yeah. I was going to think of either Big Bird or one of the, the star defensemen that they had on the Montreal Canadiens. But
yeah.
Lafleur, that's not that much better.
Right? So essentially you get that, and that's the thing. And I saw in the chat, we can get first round picks for Dylan Sorensen, Goodrow, Labanc, Couture. You can maybe get for Couture. Maybe right now. And he's been up and down this season. And this is, honestly, this must be, ripping his head apart, because here he is. We've all seen him be captain material for years, and now he has it and the team is just in free fall, and it's tough to see, and those who are still Teal together, we appreciate you immensely. And do yourself a favor, if you're watching us on the YouTube channel, once this thing was posted, hit that subscribe button.
Thank you, NHL.
Yeah, thank you.
The gift that keeps on giving, right?
Yeah. Well, hey, like I said, I knew they can lock out people. I didn't know they can strike people. So
I like that.
Thank you. It was a year or two today that Joe Thornton had his last road goal. Bakes talked about the Sharks' effort and execute in the third period. Of course, Hronek gets the empty netter goal at the end that pretty much sealed the deal. 2 or fewer is gone, people. Landi, 2 or fewer is gone.
Thank God.
No. Hang on here. Let's be real here. That was a crazy run by the Sharks. What was it, 46-0, with the goaltenders allowing 2 or fewer? You give credit to the Sharks for doing that, at least.
Erik, I think though that's kind of the problem of the team. I think it encapsulates a lot of what the issue is coasting on previous success. I think that will be, if we're going to put the bow on this year, on this half of the season, is coasting on previous success. Meaning, They are the San Jose Sharks. They have been in the postseason, many, many times in this decade. I think missing out only once in the decade. They have Norris Trophy winners. They have, Stanley Cup winners on the roster. They have people who had career years last
Yep.
year. They have numerous accolades. You have Jumbo Joe, who's winning accolade after accolade, passing up Hall of Famer after Hall of Famer. But again, it's cruising on those past successes. What are you doing right now to contribute to the team? And right now, not much.
Yeah. Your final stats on the night: 34-23 in shots in favor of San Jose. 52-48 was the faceoff percentages in favor of San Jose. Both teams go 0 for on the power play, 0 for 3 for the Sharks, 0 for 2 for Detroit. So, hey, good job, PK, I guess. Hits 33-20. I think they started getting, a little more physical midway through that first period when they felt like they weren't in that game. The Red Wings had a lot more giveaways, 19-6. It's been it's been one of those weird things.
Hey, Eric, but of those 19 giveaways, how many ended up in the back of the net?
0.
Right. How many on the Sharks giveaways ended up in the back of the net? Both.
Yeah. So, that being said, just overall a rough one here to start the Jumbo Fan 2018. Yes, 2020 PK Cup champs. Raise that penalty kill trophy high. Mwah. Of course. So, with that little chuckle, you know what? It is New Year's Eve. And I posted something on tealtownusa.com about the 10 best games of the decade. Now, mind you, I mean, both of us will probably pick, the certain one that happened earlier this year in April. What other memories do you have of this decade, Landi? Because I think it's, you do need to reminisce, especially considering there's such a painful season going on right now. But, I mean, memories from this past decade. I mean, going through everything that we've gone through.
Yeah, I mean, some big ones that stick out. Danny Heatley's first home game as a San Jose Shark, scoring the hat trick. I was there in person for that game. It was an awesome experience in the tank. Tomas Hertl's 4-goal game. The infamous gutless comment, and then Patty, securing the win against the Detroit Red Wings. I think the elation the first time the Sharks got over the Red Wings hump, I believe in, what was that? 10? The 2010 series, when they went against the Western Conference in the Western Conference Finals against Chicago. I think Tomas Hertl's first goal. Brent Burns winning his Norris Trophy. Those are some of the highlights of this year, or this decade for me, at least. I think making it to the Stanley Cup final was just an amazing ride.
Oh, man.
That Game 3 overtime winner by Jonas Donskoy, with the Finnish accent. Yeah, exactly. Jumbo slide, Jumbo slide against LA.
The first sweep.
Yeah.
When they took down Vancouver. There was definitely that.
The dueling hat tricks when Pavelski and San Louis, the dueling natural hat tricks. That one was really, really. That was a good game to watch, and just how back and forth that was. Oh boy!
D. Healy 529 Seto OT winner versus the Avs, game 1, round 2. My first Sharks game, Habs tied with 30 seconds left. Yep, there was that one. One of the ones I took off the list because I had too many was Game 4 of that series. The game after
Right, the Dan
Dan
Boyle
Boyle.
goal.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
Dan Boyle own goal, and he comes back the first minute of the game and just takes all his anger and just slaps it past Anderson, and of course Pabst wins into overtime. Both series against against Detroit were always sweet, and it sucks to see that both teams are just struggling now. Yeah, Chris, the Jumbo post game comments after the Rooster trick was the best.
Yeah.
We just hope there will be able to get out one more. We would love to see him do the 4 goals. Oh my gosh. But chat, yeah, let's hear about what you think about it, because it is time to kind of reminisce, and let's be honest here. Let's talk about all the good times that we've had during this decade, because I mean, heck, one of the ones I put on there, the outdoor game.
Yeah.
It's still the 4th largest attended outdoor game in NHL history. It's the largest crowd to watch a game in the state of California. They were really iffy about having another outdoor game in California, especially since it was a nightmare in LA. They didn't sell it out, and everything. It was a tough one. Chris, yes, holiday sweater. I
John Scott in the All-Star game,
Yeah.
All-Star MVP John Scott.
I mean, that was great. And heck, the Olympics in 2010 up in Vancouver. I mean, you had 4 Sharks win gold medals. Pavelski goes home with the silver. You had 8 Sharks, the most ever, to go to an Olympic Games. Thank goodness it was in Vancouver, because otherwise that would be a daunting task to get them all home. It's just amazing to see. And so it's amazing to have what it was fun about. Jerry, my first Sharks game was a win against Montreal on March 4th, 2010. Been a huge fan since. Yeah, I mean, heck, I mean, just doing all this, Landi, just brings back fun times about After Darks, and I remember the night of May 25th, 2016. Chris, you, AJ, Ian,
The
epic night. I mean, we did almost 3.5 hours of post game coverage. It's great. Thornton climbing the all time list. Tomas Hertl 4 goals. Yeah, that was a great call too from Dan Ruzanowski. Jumbo to Marleau, Game 3 in overtime in 2010.
Oh yeah, I mean that to me though, I think that is that one was such a great win because of just how much crap we had taken from Detroit after the 93-94 season, where we dethroned them, and then basically they had the monopoly on us for a little while. And after that, the Sharks really slayed that Detroit Dragon, and the Stanchion goal came up in the next series, but they played such a great game, and it was just one of those times where you just got to see the joy in Jumbo.
Yep.
Winning it with Patty. So
who remembers Slushy's corner?
Oh my goodness!
Dang, Slushy. Rob,
pulling out the old Slushy's corner.
Oh man, that goes way back in the day. Man,
you have to be a hashtag insider or hashtag a long time listener for that one.
Yeah, so good times remember be had there. We kind of touched it up briefly. Logan Couture is selected to be the Sharks representative of the All-Star game. Also, there's a possibility to have Tomas Hertl to go to St. Louis as well. That'll start tomorrow on NHL.com for you to vote in Tomas Hertl. Although I put up a poll on the Teal Town Twitter asking, would you want to have Hertl go, or would you rather have him stay for maybe a playoff push? And I know that's tough to say right now after we just lost to the worst team in the league by a shutout. But honestly, what do you think, Landi, as I pull up the polls?
What do I honestly? Just honestly, and I know that this sucks to hear, but does it matter? I'm being quite frank here. I mean, does it really matter in the end? I don't think it does. After tonight, just to put a fine bow on tonight and just how much the team, whatever kind of good feelings I had, kind of eroded. I don't think it matters. I don't think it matters.
Well, the question I put out there is Sharks' Tomas Hertl will be part of the NHL All-Star last man in voting. Do you vote him into his first All-Star game, or do you say no and rest for a playoff push? We think over the hundreds that voted in, and 54% say vote him into the first NHL All-Star game. 46% say no, rest for a playoff push. Not gonna lie, I don't know if you saw it on Hockey Jerk's timeline, but someone took tweets of what Helene St. James said to or was asked by by the Red Wings. And one of them, which was Tyler Bertuzzi on being the Red Wings representative at the 2020 All-Star Game. Quote, "If they didn't have to pick someone from every team, I know I wouldn't be there, but I'm excited for this opportunity." Really? But
Yep.
but wait, Landi, it gets better. Red Wings host Sharks tonight after 2 GLI games. Bertuzzi on the expected state of the ice at Little Caesars Arena. Our ice isn't the best, so I don't think much is going to change.
I will give Tyler Bertuzzi this. He is blunt. That is for sure.
Oh,
I like that as a player.
but Dylan Larkin says hold my beer because when asked on possibly being fan voted to the All-Star game, quote, "Please don't vote. I like the days off more." Like Chris says, I respect that brutal honesty, but damn.
I mean, look, if Ovechkin can do it, right, where he's voted in as the captain of the Metropolitan, and he's like, nah, I'm cool.
Right.
Like anything's up. I mean, I honestly though, Eric, I mean, the NHL's just got to rewrite the whole All-Star thing. I have to rethink about it because this is embarrassing to have your stars of your league just be like, nah, I'm cool.
Yeah, no, you already have Ovechkin going no. I mean, if you have Sid saying no, I mean, that right there is going to be hurting. Just a nightmare overall on that one. So, speaking of nightmares, is it time?
Well, I don't think it's a nightmare. I think it's the only way you can extract some joy out of this podcast. But go ahead.
I don't know about that.
Have the goddamn common courtesy to give him a reach around.
It's wraparound time. And you know why I say this one's painful? Well, Kings 5, Flyers 1 with 13:46 to go in the third period. Former Shark Justin Braun gets his first goal as a Philadelphia Flyer in this one, but it's been all Kings tonight. They scored 4 goals in the first period, and they are on their way to a victory and will leapfrog the Sharks out of the cellar in the Western Conference. In Calgary, Sam Bennett has the only goal for the Flames. They're losing 4-1 to the Chicago Blackhawks. Patrick Kane, who apparently wasn't one of the best players of the decade, is on the board with his 21st of the season. In Edmonton, real deal James Neal has a hat trick, and they just started the third period there. Oilers lead the Rangers 6-1 in that one. Currently in the Desert Dogs. Oh, excuse us. There we go. lead the St. Louis Blues 2-1. Garland and Kessel with the goals in that one. In New Jersey, they beat the Bruins in a shootout, 3-2. Blackhood with the win. Halak will take the loss in that one. The Caps go down to the Islanders. Barry Trotz is smiling as we speak, 4-3 over the Capitals. The Islanders, Zizekas gets 2 goals in a winning victory there. Holtby, I don't know what's happened to you lately. In Vegas, the Golden Knights win 5-2. Jonathan Marchessault, you sneaky little brat, with 2 goals in this one. John Gibson takes the loss for Anaheim. if Chaotix 105, if this is your version of joy, I hate to see your version of depression. Yeah,
It's not pretty.
Yeah, it's not pretty. You know what is pretty? San Ramon native Austin Matthews getting his 27th goal en route to a 4-1 victory for the Maple Leafs over the Minnesota Wild. Former Stockton Thunder Devin Dubnyk takes the loss in this one. In Buffalo, the Sabres lose to the Lightning 6-4 in this one. Killorn with 2 goals in that one. Jack Eichel gets his 25th of the season as the Sabres now go to NHL 500. They are storm surging in Carolina tonight. 3-1 the final. Sebastian Aho, Ryan Dzingel, and AJ's favorite, Erik Carlsson. The goal scorers in that one. Max Domi, the only goal scorer for the Canadiens. In Columbus, the Neon Buggers, thanks to 2 goals by Zach Werenski, beat Sergei Bobrovsky, and the Florida Panthers 4-1 in this one. And also the final, Jets 7-4. The final, they beat the Avalanche on this one. Kyle Connor with a hat trick. Blake Wheeler with 2 goals in this one. Nathan McKinnon, not to be outdone, had 2 goals himself in the loss for this one. That gets you caught up to date in the National Hockey League. As for your San Jose Barracuda...
Ooh, Barracuda!
Your San Jose Barracuda are on the ice tonight in Stockton. They took on the Stockton Heat in, well, because, I was trying to pull this up as the intro is going, because that's so easy. You have the score by chance? Because the AHL website's being a pain in the butt.
Let me see, but I think they're bad too. Oh, goodness gracious.
Goodness gracious. Yeah.
All right, so San Jose, let's see here. They are currently playing, and it is 5-7. Okay, no, it's Bakersfield.
4-0 the final. The Stockton Heat shut out the San Jose Barracuda.
Okay, well, close enough. They're bad too.
Former Barracuda Buddy Robinson scored early on in the third period, a 3-goal third period for the Heat to really put them away. Rob Iman mentioning Andrew Shortridge, one of the Sharks' top goaltender prospects, was sent down to the ECHL today.
Cool. That inspires some confidence for you.
Yeah, exactly. I'm sure that'll work out well for them. So that, I think, is pretty much it for us tonight, folks. I mean, it is 8:13 live out here on the West Coast. So do us a favor. If you're going out tonight, please be safe. Have some fun, but please be safe and don't shoot firecrackers. It's going to butt the crap out of my dogs.
Hey, you know what, man? Spend the extra $20 or $30 for the Uber. You don't want to spend $10,000 on a DUI.
Bingo. And with that, Landi, I appreciate you immensely as always. Your final thoughts and where the people have find you.
Oh boy, final thoughts. I think we are where we need to be insofar as, the level of effort, the level of mental awareness in the team. it really shows and it really reflects upon where they're at in the standings, and I think it's well deserved. Their spot in the standings is well deserved. And I think that's kind of my final thought for the evening and wrapping up this first half of the year. Where you can find me using my first name. That's Erik spelled the right way with a K, and that's Landi, Landi, on all of the social media garbages that you like to solicit.
Yes, that's right. My final thought is, my goodness, Sharks, oh my gosh. The time is nigh to turn this around. I mean, my goodness. I mean, it'd be nice to see 4 victories on this road trip to kind of claw back into this thing, but my goodness, find a way, or find any way to scrape off a win big time. I mean, yeah, you had it in Philly, against Philly. You guys can do it again. So let's break out of this funk and let's get going. I'm at Puckeye14 on the Twitter and the Instagram. We wish you a safe, happy New Year. Look forward to watching the Winter Classic tomorrow. That's at 10 a.m. our time out here on the West Coast. The Nashville Predators and Dallas Stars. Hey, some former Shark, I think, is playing in that game.
I think he was kind of a big deal, right? I don't really remember.
Yeah, Roman Polak.
Yeah, that's it. I knew I was forgetting somebody. There we go.
You know, the funny thing is, and of course we're talking about Joe Pavelski, is how rough is it for the Sharks to freaking Joe Pavelski's going to come back to town. It's his homecoming. It's a Jersey night. And the Niners play at 1:30, and the Sharks will play at 7 o'clock.
You know what? I honestly hope, Erik, I think at the end of this, I hope that he gets a shot. Yep. You know, I hope that he gets a shot at the Cup, and I'm glad that he gets a shot in a real outdoor game. You know, I love that we had our outdoor game, but this is the Winter Classic. This is another deal, you know.
PT 1680. Also, don't forget Matt Irwin will be playing tomorrow.
Yes, famed San Jose Shark Matt Irwin.
Yeah, the one who scored the 1 goal in Game 7 against LA in 2014.
Let's not talk about that.
Yeah, we won't mention about that. But hit us up in case you missed anything or you want to watch this again. Check us out on tealtownusa.com or your favorite podcatcher, whether it's Spotify, TuneIn, iHeartRadio, SoundCloud, our YouTube channel. We'll be right up there. So we'll be back with you on Tuesday night. Or excuse me, Tuesday. No, today is Tuesday. We'll be back with you Thursday night as the Sharks take on the Pittsburgh Penguins. That game is at 4 p.m. We'll be back with you till then. Otherwise, check out all our other content and hit us up on our social media. And until then, keep it real, keep it teal, keep it real teal. Have a great night, everyone. Be safe out there.